Light flared above us. A fireball the size of a bus shot toward me. I folded my arms. I knew better than to get my hopes up. Life Part 2 was turning out to be an awful lot like Life Part 1. The fireball splashed against an invisible bubble barrier, surrounding us with light. "We're all going to die!" a woman screamed in panic. "Get back!" I tried to respond, but my legs wouldn't move. Not out of fear, but because I was still fucking bound to this bitch fairy queen. Residual memories of cold, dark tentacles slithered into my ears, stabbing cold needles of possession into my mind. I squeezed my eyes shut, determined not to let the stupid fear take me. The devourer wasn't in this place, I reminded myself. There was nothing left to be afraid of. I had already died. I had even come to terms with never being able to make things right, being betrayed by the man I'd thought I loved, and you know what? I was okay with all that unfinished business. But Titania, the fucking bitch, had decided that of all the recently deceased human souls in existence, she wanted mine to be her slave. A monstrous roar ripped through my thoughts. Instinctively, my flesh body tried to cower, needing a place to run and hide, even as I realized that this could be the solution to all my problems. "I had nothing to do with it," Titania said, her voice echoing with magic. A massive scaled white claw scraped against the protective bubble arcing over us. The black talons broke through the bubble. The resulting blast of air, stinking of smoke, ignited the leaves and trees nearest the break. A thickly muscled black man with only a hint of salt and pepper in his hair to betray his age leaned toward the queen. "You have to get him to stop, Your Majesty." Titania gritted her teeth, and for a moment it looked as if the flowers in her hair had turned into thorns. "What does it look like I'm doing? None of your human weaponry will work on this one. This is why I needed that thing," she said, glaring at me, as if I could do something. He kissed her hand. "Do the right thing, please, Your Majesty." Titania sighed. The fire tornado outside swirled and coalesced around a pillar of white fire reaching skyward. Out of the inferno walked a man in a white suit. The man placed a glowing hand on Titania's bubble. Electric sparks crackled blue, and the air grew heavy with the scent of ozone and ash. There was an intense pressure as if my ears were going to pop. Then, without further fanfare, sound, or fury, Titania's shield was gone. There was nothing left to stop him. What the hell? He wasn't just wearing white, but a formal white suit. Were we being sieged by a wedding party? It was pristine, as if he had just put it on, instead of having spent the last hour or so launching bolts of acidic fire at Titania's magic shield. The formal jacket was open, revealing a white shirt underneath that was unbuttoned at the throat. The only bits of color were the strip of black belt at his waist and what looked like spotless black Italian leather shoes. "He's not in dragon form. He's not even wearing his armor," gasped one of Titania's flower-covered lady/maidens/ whatever the fuck they were. Though his clothing was far from serious, his shockingly handsome face was flat and emotionless. His shoulders were back, his head held high, his gaze trained in on Titania, with only one thing clear on his mind. If I were lucky, he really would have a death gaze and kill her for me right there, and I'd be free. No such luck, of course. He strode across the carefully manicured grass with the stance of a conqueror. Titania sat on her throne, the expression on her face unimpressed, but the stiffness of her posture betrayed her underlying emotion. I had been eavesdropping as her harem guard reported the dragon's progress. They had begged her to let them go up against the dragon, but she had forbidden every one of them, choosing instead to rely on her own magic. And now we were all likely to die. I smiled. The dragon stood beneath Titania on the dais, looking up at her, yet it was clear that he had all the power. Titania sneered. "How long have you been searching for the angel of death? Attempt it, dragon, and you'll never find him, or your sister, Aurora."